I'd like to demonstrate how to use a TI calculator to make a scatter plot. And so I have a context. It says in 2005, the formation of Tropical Storm Epsilon set a record for the greatest number of named storms in the Atlantic in a single hurricane season at 28. The following table records the number of named storms, hurricanes and tropical storms, in the Atlantic each year since 1984. So there is the table. And I'm going to put this information in my calculator. I've actually already done that. So if you need to pause the video so you can do it as well, do it at this point. So the data is here in my calculator in L1 and L2. If we can get that out so it doesn't distract you. And to make a scatter plot, so a scatter plot is a bivariate graph, bivariate two-variable graph, and I'll use the year is the explanatory variable and the number of named storms as the response variable. So I press second and stat plot, and then I'm going to use stat plot number 1. And this first one right here is the scatter plot. So I go to that and hit enter to toggle it on. Note up here if the off was shaded, I would just go to on and hit enter and it would toggle it on. I want my X list to be L1, so that's second and the number 1, so that blue L1. And then my Y list is L2. You can make your markers whatever you want. I prefer this box because they're easier to see. These little guys are kind of hard to recognize, so I like the box. Now to graph it, the best way to graph it is to press zoom 9. Sometimes it looks like this because it was in alpha mode, so I'll quit and press zoom 9, and it gives me a graph that looks like that, showing me a general trend. So I can look at this and talk about the strength, the form, and the direction that I notice on here. There might be a slight positive, perhaps linear trend in what's going on with the data here. This point seems to be an outlier. That is 2005. I can hit trace and cruise along here to see that that's 2005 with 28 named storms, much higher than before. In fact, it might be interesting to cover that up and see if I still feel like the trend is the same. It's a little bit deceptive with that point in there. Of course, that's a real valid data point, so I don't want to get rid of it, but it does perhaps make me think that the line might look more like this, especially with a non-resistant measure such as the line of best fit, the least squared regression line. So that's how you make a scatter plot on the TI calculator.